So this is how we're going to strip this. Where I want to concentrate it is along these edges. Gonna hit the edges. And then we're gonna flip this over and we'll do the other side while this side's working. So we're just flip this over. And even though this top's been done, I'm going to put a thin coat on it. By the time I'm done with this table, I'll have $100 in materials in it. So we're going to put the mineral spirits on there and start scrubbing. Flip this without dropping it. Now, I will use just a rag to scrub it. Get some of that stuff off. Then we just rinse it off. That's just dish soap in there. Dawn dish soap.
Okay, what I want to do here is fill this crack with a thin piece of scrap wood. So I'm going to put the shaving, the thin piece of wood in the crack. I'm going to trace it with a pencil. I'm doing this instead of using quick wood or some other wood filler. Once the piece is traced, I'll take it out and cut it with the X-Acto knife and then glue it and slide it back in place. I can trim any excess off once it's in place. In this clip, I'm going to use the X-Acto knife to cut it out like I explained. Voiceover is not the typical method I use in a video, but this video had a copyright on it because of music playing in the background. So to avoid that copyright, I am voicing over this section. In this clip, you'll see me put a dab of glue on the bench, and then I'll put the glue onto my sliver of wood. Once both sides are glued, I'll slide it into the crack in the foot of this table leg. Once it's in, I can shave or trim any excess off. The advantage to this is I can stain that or color that to match the wood, as opposed to using quick wood or something that does not take stain well. Here you're going to see me use the carving tool to shave off the excess on the outside of the foot. I could wait till it's dry to do the same thing. In this clip, I'm cleaning out what turned out to be caulk in this leg. I'm going to clean this out and put quick wood in there to fill that void. It's going to be on the inside of the table leg. You won't see it, so it should be just fine.
Alright, so I fixed this crack here I showed you, and I cleaned it up with the glue up with denatured alcohol, and you can feel a slight catch there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a razor blade and I'm going to use it as a card scraper and just scrape it a little smoother. All right, that's good. All right, I've sanded it down with 400 grit and wiped it off with a cloth to get dust off. Now I'm going to use mineral spirits to get the rest of the dust off. And then once this dries, we'll be able to put stain on it. Hopefully you can kind of see that color in there a little bit. And had they not stained it that walnut, I think that cherry-ish red would stand out a lot better. All right, should wipe down good. And that dries, we'll stain it. And we'll do that with every piece. We'll sand it, wipe it, clean it with mineral spirits, let it dry, and then stain it. I'm going to use a yellow can of Cherry 235, and I'll do the sides. And I'm not putting a ton of excess on. I don't want it running. I don't want it puddling. So I'm kind of wiping it pretty thin. If you really want that color to set, try a gel stain, let it, put it on, let it set and wipe it off. See how it kind of brings that red out just a little bit more? Adds that red back. And then I'll come back later and we'll wipe off any excess that didn't soak in with a different rag. Well, we're done putting the finish on it. You saw me spray just a little bit. I didn't want to get that all over the camera, so I didn't want to film all of that, the residual spray in the air. Between coats, I did a very light sanding with 400 grit and sprayed again. That's the nice thing about lacquer is by the time I got through the loop of how I had it laid out to spray, I could go back and sand the first piece and wipe it down with tack cloth, and we could do the whole thing all over again. Love using the lacquer. It just dries so fast. It's expensive, stuff's $70 a can for catalyzed lacquer, but it saves a lot of time, and I really like the finish. I've got it set here. I haven't started putting it back together, so I'm gonna get going on that, and then we'll get it flipped over, put it when it's all put together, and show you the finished product. But from what I see, I think it turned out pretty well. So let's get started. I also dug out some older screws. I didn't want to put new ones in there, even though this is new. I don't know. I just wanted to use older ones. Put this in, and we'll just finger tighten it for now, just to hold it, and I'll get the impact and suck that in, and then we'll tighten that down. We'll just keep going around the table putting these in. When you're doing this, especially after you've taken this time to refinish something, you don't want your screwdriver slipping off, marring stuff up. So just take your time and get it back together like it's supposed to be. Doesn't have to be a race. Is the chicken gonna lay an egg? Alright guys, this is the finished product. I wish I would have started video sooner and decided to do this on video, because you could have saw the before and after. But just, I guess, take my word for it that this is a bit better than it was. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. And remember, if I can do this, you can do it. We'll see you on the next video.